Welcome. Today we're going to install Vassal specifically to run Victory in the Pacific, but it can be used to run a lot of other game modules too. As we install, you can stop at any step. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to gameaholics.com. That's GAMEAHOLICS.com. That brings up a website that has a lot of information about the new edition of Victory in the Pacific, as well as the play-by-email tournaments and many strategy articles and so forth. We're going to the tournaments menu, and we're going to click on the top Victory in the Pacific item. That takes us to the Victory in the Pacific tournament page. We'll return here several times. So I scroll down to the Vassal section. And you'll notice that we're going to do all three of these parts today. We're going to update Java on this machine. Then we're going to install the Vassal engine. Then we will install the Victory in the Pacific module for Vassal. Now, because we're going to come back here, I'm going to right click on this link and I'm going to open the link in a new tab. And that way I can just hop back to this tab anytime to go to the next step. Open the link. That opens up the Oracle Java.com window. And I scroll down to find Java for the right operating system that I'm on. Now I happen to be using Windows and I'm online at this time, so I'm going to click on Windows Online. That's a shorter download, takes just a few seconds. So I will tell it to go ahead and save the file. There it goes. The flashing meant that it was downloading. It's already done. So then I'm going to go ahead and click open from here. I could also go out to the folder and run it, but I'll just click open here, which will run it. That gives me a warning that it's going to alter my system. So I'm going to have to say yes to allow that to run, and I will. Now here comes the install window. I'm going to click install. It will run. There's actually three outcomes. The first is it's actually downloading the installer, and then it will run that installer. But there's three outcomes. One is it will give me a success message. One, it will give me a you're already up to date. Did you actually want to deinstall message? And we don't want to deinstall. The other one is it will warn me that there are old versions of Java on my system and give me the chance to get rid of those while putting in the new one. And that's what I would want to do in that case. So in this case, we're going to see what happens on this machine. You'll notice it says it's a success. We've succeeded in installing. If you get those other options though, you can just take the options that will get you to the latest version. All right, so Java is done. So I'm going to close this tab, and that takes us back to the Gameaholics Victory in the Pacific tournament page. And then I'm going to go to the next step, which is to unload the Vassal Java engine, or download. So I'll click on that. That takes me to the Vassal engine website. So the option to download Vassal for Windows is right here. If you need Vassal for a different operating system, head right down here. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click download Vassal here. I will click to save, and it will download that file. You'll notice it's fairly quick. It's only going to take about 7 seconds. So I'll just go ahead and wait here for it to finish. Okay, it's finished. All right, now I'm going to exit this window, and I could run it from right there at the bottom of that window, but I want to actually go out to my download folder. And I'm going to run the Vassal install software directly from this folder. Again, I have to override the secure. I have to tell it it's okay for it to modify my system. I select next. I am going to pick the standard install, which I recommend. Then I click install. And this is also a very fast install. You'll note that it just put an icon over here on my desktop to run Vassal. And I don't want to run it right this second, so I'm going to click that. There's some other install options that we might want to take. So I'm going to go out to the system and we're going to go see what we just installed. So I'm going out to the File Explorer. I'm going to pick the C drive and the Program Files folder. If we scroll down, we will see there's Vassal that I just installed. Now, this program contains the Vassal program, a lot of various information and documents needed to run Vassal, as well as an uninstall program. The question you have to choose is whether you're going to run Vassal from this directory or whether you'd like it to be somewhere else. You can do either one. In this case, but you have to make some setup changes to run it the way you want. I personally like to keep my games and modules organized in one place. So that way it's easy to save the game files as my opponents send them and so forth. I'm going to do that on the desktop. So right here, I'm going to say new folder. And I'm just going to call that folder Vassal. Real original, I know. All right, inside that folder, I'm going to create two more folders. One I'm going to call games, and one I'm going to call modules. You might guess what's going to be installed in those folders later on. So let's go back to the Gameaholics website, back to the tournament page, scroll down to Vassal. We're going to pick the third option now to download the Victory in the Pacific module. That's again going to take us to the Vassal Engine website. We're going to scroll down here and we see that there's a variety of Victory in the Pacific modules. Please use the very latest and greatest. That's 3.41 or 2, I guess, or build 2. So I'm going to click on that one to download it. It brings up that information, but I don't want to just save it in my download folder this time. Instead, I want to go to the desktop. There's my Vassal folder, and I'm going to put it in the module folder. So there I go, save, it's already downloaded. Now this isn't an executable file, so I'm not going to run it. And that is, if we go and look in the folder, see, there it is. There's our module right there. All right, now we're ready to run Vassal for the very first time. So I'm going to double click on the icon and it brings up some warnings. I do not want to re-download Vassal. So we're going to, there's an option to take a tour to get information. I'm going to click jump right in since I have run this before. The language, you can pick your choice there. I'll click that. All right, now, okay, to start playing, the key is to download a module, which we've done, and to open it. All right, so let's do that. Going to open a module. Now, we want to go to the desktop, pick the Vassal folder and the module folder, and we pick the module. Now, one thing that's really nice is that Vassal learns where you've stored these things, so it will start remembering that you have got this. So it brings up some information and asks you to enter information like your name and a password to start. Now I'm just going to create an offline game. So I will say, and I don't want to see this wizard in the future. It's too easy to create a game to bother. So, all right, this gives me options, and I'm going to take the standard play by email 8-turn game. And I click finish. All right, so I have my first game ready to go. All right, now, all right, I'm not going to actually walk through a game. That will occur in a different training. But we have completely installed it. One thing I want to point out is you'll notice that now that we opened that module now appears in the module list. And every time we do that for a new module, it will add that module to this window. And now I can create a new Victory in the Pacific game just by double clicking that module. Double clicking again. There we go. And it will open up a brand new game each time I do that. All right. Okay, so we can reopen a game very easily from this Vassal window. All right, that's all it takes to install Vassal. And now you have your Vassal folder. You can, if you want, put your Vassal icon onto the start menu so that you can get it down here on your taskbar instead of keeping it as a desktop icon. It's up to you. All right, congratulations on successfully installing Vassal. We'll see you on the internet.